The U.S. trial of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine shows 72% efficacy against moderate and severe infections and 85% efficacy in preventing serious symptoms in global trials.
If you have COVID, it'll stop you from needing to worry about getting sick leave to go to the hospital.
But there are concerns over Johnson & Johnson's less than 60% efficacy in South Africa. That variant is now in the U.S.
CBS's Deborah Pata has more on the strain from Johannesburg.
The South African variant is a lot more contagious and is often able to bypass antibodies induced by people infected in the first wave of the pandemic. Now that means that people are being reinfected. Scientists here don't believe that this strain actually originated in this country, but was discovered here because the country has invested a lot into the genetic sequencing of viruses. And the US, by comparison, does not have a robust genetic sequencing program, so mutations go undetected.
As the new strains keep spreading, some health officials are recommending taking more precautions. KPIX TV's Julia Goldrich reports from San Francisco.
Doctors are recommending double masking indoors in highly populated areas like airports or even the grocery store. More layers, more protection.
Science says yes, I'd say okay.
We all want to get back to normal. I'll do whatever. Dr. Monica Gandhi is an infectious disease doctor with UCSF.
Kind of a dramatic recommendation is how we can get this under control.
President Biden says it's time to move ahead on his $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief plan, with or without Republican support in Congress.
The choice couldn't be clearer. We have learned from past crises the risk is not doing too much, the risk is not doing enough.
Several feet of snow has fallen in Lake Tahoe, California.
Literally, you cannot go anywhere. The snow will win every time.
And a storm is headed east, bringing more snow. WCBS TV meteorologist Lonnie Quinn from New York.
It's snowing anywhere from Minneapolis to Columbus, Ohio. By the time you get to Sunday, it's the Ohio Valley all the way down to Washington, D.C. And then what is going to be key with this storm will be what happens Monday. That low pressure system gets offshore, it's weakened, but now it combines with a secondary low pressure system, and all the big East Coast cities have picked up the snow.
Some areas could get as much as 1.5 feet of snow early next week. This is CBS News.
You can listen to CBS News Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on radio.com or the radio.com app. Download it today.
I'm Joel, co-founder of the company behind Super Beats. I know what you're thinking. This guy must really love beets. While I'd like to say yes, the truth is that when I asked our team of scientists and dietitians to find the best superfoods for promoting heart-healthy energy and supporting healthy blood pressure, they led me to beets. But we didn't stop there. I'm excited to share with you our newest product, Super Beets Heart Chews, which includes clinically researched grapeseed extract, shown to be 2 times as effective at supporting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. Supporting your healthy lifestyle with products like Super Beets Heart Chews, science-backed, plant-based, and better for you.
Get a free 30-day supply of Super Beets Jet, plus a free 30-day supply of Super Grapes with your first purchase when you shop at getsuperbeets.com/guide. That's getsuperbeets.com/guide.
A new way to feed cats. That's awesome.
Claremont, Alabama City Schools workers are using a custom-built food truck to deliver meals to students stuck at home with virtual learning because of the pandemic. Program coordinator Tara told on the importance of such meals.
Did not realize just to the extent that they were necessary until the pandemic hit, schools closed, and our feeding stopping operation really got
deal with that. Northbound side of the 5 in Glendale between Western and Alameda. It's a stalled truck, and it looks like that's going to go to the right. In Commerce 5 south into Nauset, that's where we've got a ladder in the middle lane. Look out for that. CHP is going to run a brake, try to get that out of the way for you. Be careful in Norwalk 605 south going to go to 105. Last two-car crash. First thing on the right trip, I think it's sticking out in the lanes, though, so just keep your eyes out as you're headed through there and keep your speed down. It's the direct common on the traffic center, KMX 1070.
Sunny skies today, highs in the mid-50s, the low 60s, clear tonight, lows down into the 30s, 40s. Some clouds roll in tomorrow, highs will be in the 60s to around 70. Your exclusive 5-day forecast is coming up at 7:15. Currently 41 degrees in San Fernando, we have 43 in Beverly Hills and 43 in Irvine at 7:07. As LA County lifts restrictions and COVID trends continue to improve, officials warn that we're still in a very dangerous period.
The average daily case count is now about half of what it was earlier this month, but 7,400 or so new cases a day is still more than 6 times higher than what we were seeing before the surge began. COVID-related hospitalizations are down nearly 30% since hitting a record high more than 3 weeks ago, but they're still far more than 2 times higher than the peak of the summer surge. COVID-related deaths remain really high and are not expected to come down for a while.
Every person, every business must continue to take every precaution every day to prevent transmission.
Dr. Montu Davis, the county's health officer, warns this is not the time to let your guard down.
Just because some sectors have reopened doesn't mean that the risk for community transmission has gone away. It hasn't. And each of us needs to make very careful choices about what we do and how we do it. This virus is strong, and we're now concerned about variants and what these may mean in our region.
Since the start of the pandemic, more than 1.1 million county residents have tested positive for COVID-19 and more than 16,000 have died. Claudia Pescuta, KNX 70 News Radio.
Restaurants in LA County allowed to reopen outdoor dining after a 2-month shutdown. The reopenings, though, come with some new rules, including limited tables to members of the same household and not having any TVs in dining areas. That's to prevent crowds from gathering, especially during events like next weekend's Super Bowl. Some customers think the TV ban goes too far, but one diner in Sherman Oaks tells CBS 2 he's okay with it.
I feel good just to be out in public and eating again. I think sports comes second to that right now because we've just been in hibernation for so long.
LA County's health officer says it would be a real tragedy if the Super Bowl ended up being a super spreader event when it comes to the virus. Shaky rollout of the COVID vaccines led to Governor Newsom's office teaming up with Blue Shield of California. The health insurance company will oversee the distribution of vaccines throughout the state with the aim of bringing more equity to the process. Medical ethics expert Dr. Art Kaplan of NYU tells ConnX the move's in a mission of failure.
There are other questions that come up. If the state admits that it can't do it, then is there a bid that different organizations get to try and say we could do it? Or was it somehow favoritism towards one group that maybe has the governor's ear or support? And I think it ought to be transparent as to what the contract is, what they're been assigned to do. Accountability when you're distributing a scarce life-saving resource is critical.
Contracts expected to be finalized soon. The transition will happen over the next several weeks. The number of Latinos dying from coronavirus in LA County is up 1,000% since November. Latest numbers show that for every 100,000 Latinos who were infected, about 40 die. One county health official tells the LA Times the numbers are horrifying. They've sparked demands from residents who want government to do more to help Latinos who work essential service jobs and those who live in overcrowded conditions. Crime in the city of LA dropped sharply in some areas last year, but exploded in others. Both the mayor and police chief are hoping for some improvements.
While violent crime was down 3% and nonviolent crime 9.2%, Mayor Eric Garcetti said 2 areas showed very troubling increases.
With homicides up by 36.2% and victims shot by 41.4%.
Putting things in context, the mayor said these diverse images of the crime picture happen while the LAPD is dealing with major budget cuts and the reimagining of how policing happens in the city. And he asked for public support while this happens.
I want all Angelinos, especially in our communities of color, to build that trust. That's my goal for the next few years. Judge me on that in 2 and 3 years.
The mayor went on to say he'll try to avoid any layoffs in the public safety sector, while at the same time deal with what he called the toughest budget crisis in the city's history. Pete Demetrio, KNX 1070 News Radio.
We have a signaler in Costa Mesa on the 405 South. Traffic in 4 minutes. It's 7:11.
Why would a plumber just tell me what it costs to unclog my drain over the phone? Is it that complicated?
No, it's not. It makes no sense at all. They obviously have a price.
Whoa, you've got a nice aroma. Who are you?
Mike Diamond, the smell good plumber.
Will you tell me how much to unstop my drain?
$99.
But you haven't seen it.
Don't need to. Doesn't matter if it's a kitchen sink or a mainline sewer stoppage. The smell good plumbers at Mike Diamond will unclog almost any drain for $99.
Almost.
Yeah, there are a few exceptions, but you can read all about them on our website before you call. Just go to thesmellgoodplumber.com.
Wow, you're like up front and everything. I just called a guy named Bubba who wouldn't tell me anything.
No Bubba's here, ma'am. Just professional plumbers who show up on time, smell good, and unclog drains for $99.
Call us, 1-800-446-MIKE.
Contractor license number 399170.
Enjoy the big game, football, basketball, even first-run movies before they're in the theater. Streamed right to your home thanks to Video and Audio Center with the very latest 4 and 8K Ultra Smart HD TVs. The biggest deals ever. Plus free same or next day setup. Take this incredible Sony 85-inch XPR 1998. The Samsung 82-inch 4K 1297. The Samsung 65 547. LG OLED TVs. Shop in store or call our hotline 310-899-2929.
Can you do the alphabet backwards? I'm attorney Gary Cavanoki from 1-800-NO-COPS. ZYXWZUT. Well, you got it. It's not easy. Now imagine the stress of getting pulled over and having to do that by the side of the road. It's enough to make anyone stumble. So if you find yourself doing the alphabet backwards, and it's not just